Hello and welcome to today's Leadership Satsang. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm your leadership coach, Yukti Kapoor Mehndiratta, welcoming you to another special episode that we have every month where we have a guest with us so that we can get their insights, the experts' insight on the topic that we are going to discuss today. And today's topic of discussion is to understand the power of vision, something that is totally missed out and is not valued the way it should be, only if it was understood the right way. So I want to bring in a lot more clarity about what is vision and what it is not, what is goal, what is mission. There are so many words that keep floating around, and it adds to so much confusion that by the end of it, we want to just push it all away and say, forget about all this. Let's just focus on business one day at a time and we will get somewhere. Is that the best approach to lead your career or your business? I doubt. Why? Because those who have understood and learned the power of vision have not just grown, but have grown exponentially. And exponential growth is not some marketing gimmick. It is a reality for people like Dhirubhai Ambani, for people like the Zerodhas of the world, right? We have many, many examples of how people have created exponential growth for themselves. And trust me, if you look at their stories carefully, if you see a pattern building up, one thing that stands out very clear is their vision and their ability to communicate that vision to not just a handful, but a room full or a nation full of people, like a huge, huge, huge team that they build to support that vision. Each and every one is just as clear and passionate about working towards that vision. That's how powerful vision is if it is understood the right way. So before we get there, let's get into this moment and bring ourselves into this moment completely. As always, we will chant together and ensure that we leave behind everything that's already happened in the day, and we will let whatever else has to happen in a bit. Because what's going to happen now is for us to be completely here 100% for the next 30 minutes. And for that, we will take a few minutes to bring ourselves in with Om chant. As always, we will keep our spine straight, shoulders relaxed, eyes closed. Inhale and exhale a few times. And when you're ready, when I start chanting, I would like you to chant with me. Chanting does not happen in the mind. It needs to be done out loud, because the idea of chant is to create vibrations. And I would like you to feel those vibrations, right? So when you are inhaling, you are feeling the vibrations. When you are exhaling, you're creating the vibrations. As you exhale, you chant. As you inhale, you feel the vibrations of the chant. That's how we do it. We would do it 5 times, and then we will continue the session. All right, so please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. You can keep your glasses aside if you like. Please don't hold back from chanting, so that you can create the vibrations for yourself. And they really do help in centering and in being in the moment. Let's take another breath in and breathe out. And with the next breath, let's start the chant. Om. 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 Shanti. 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 And whenever you're ready, rub your palms together and gently place them on your eyes, face, and your entire body, and slowly open your eyes. And as you do that, allow me to welcome my guest here today, Parag Kasliwal. Parag, can we have you up on the screen, please? Hi. Can you unmute, Parag?
Yeah, hi Yukti, hi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. Were you chanting with me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're good. So how does it feel?
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
Get ready for the session.
Awesome. That's how we need to be ready for life as well, right? Relaxed and ready. Right? Bring it on is what I love to hear from people when they get ready to face life. So, as you welcome Parag for the session with me, I want you to know why Parag is the right person in the room for this discussion today on the power of vision. So, Parag has more than 20 years of experience in product research and advisory within the wealth industry. He's worked with ICICI Bank, Barclays Wealth, IDFC First Bank, and LGT Wealth India. By qualification, he's a CACS. For the last 2 years, he's building BeyondIRR to deliver solutions to wealth businesses with a focus on enhancing client advisory experience. To make this even more interesting, Parag, I'm going to take the liberty of adding a few more things that people should know, my audience should know. It's almost a 2-year startup, already completed 2 rounds of equity, seed and pre-series A. I don't know if you've added another one to it in the last 6 months. Zerodha, Sujit Kumar Afuran, Prasanna Singaraju, the co-founder of US-based tech company, Sandeep Nayak, who's a senior partner with Bain, Vani, who's the CEO, International Business, Airtel Business, and CEO, CIOs of wealth industry are the investors and supporters behind BeyondIRR, which only goes to prove that when you are clear about your purpose and your vision, then the universe comes to support you, isn't it? Then there are
Thank you
so
so
many
much.
people right there to add their credibility, their voice, their support to take your message forward. So many congratulations for building something so worthwhile, Parag.
Thank you so much, Yukti. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be able to deliver on our vision as well as to the expectations of people who've supported us.
Awesome. I have no doubt. And I think the results are there to speak for itself. So, which brings me to my first question, and that is, what was that vision that drove you to get onto this very crazy entrepreneurial path? You know, startups sound so glamorous and fun and fancy, but you and I know it's far from reality. It's a very tough road ahead. It's a bumpy road. It's a lonely road. It's a path full of failures and some hit and trial and a lot of resilience, which if it is not in place already before you get started, then like many other startups, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So what has been that vision which has been driving you to keep going?
Sure. So one simple thing actually can lead to a larger vision as well. So vision is actually something that you start thinking of when you look at a particular problem. So the problem that we were encountering very often during our careers when we were all working, including my co-founders, is that we were seeing that not all the investors, which we call in wealth industry clients, were being advised the way they should have been advised all the time, right? There are certain circumstances which makes a wealth manager or an organization do certain stuff which may not be in the best interest of the client, because that organization either has to make profits or that wealth manager has to earn bonus of that year. So there are compulsions, constraints because of which they that may lead to behavior which may not be in the best interest of client. So we thought, okay, let's create something which is completely in the interest of client, and there are no constraints or compulsions on people who are advising such clients, so that clients can very comfortably deal with those wealth managers. So that's the vision that we thought, okay, create something which can help clients take the right advice from people who are doing stuff in their interest.
Awesome. So the idea is to be able to serve people with the knowledge and not to take advantage of the lack
without conflict, without any biases.
Without biases. Wonderful. That's a very noble cause to support, right? So when we talk about business, I have seen many people facing this dilemma between, should it be a social cause or should it be a business cause that is aimed at profitability. And I'm sure you will agree that they both actually come together. It is only when you are addressing the society at large in some manner that you will be able to derive some profits in the process because you're adding value to them, right? Do you agree?
Yeah. So very simply, if you're doing certain stuff which is of value add to people, right, you will get paid for sure, because no one wants to get service without making the other person compensated, right? So that's very, very clear that if you're doing something which is of value add, you will get compensated, unless that service is given to unprivileged, which then becomes a social service.
True, true. Very well said. A business is a business if it is adding value to someone's life, while in the process you generate some profits out of it. That's the whole idea of doing business, right? But you started the business with this very clear vision, and you had a few co-founders. Like how many of you?
4 of us.
4 of you decided, let's quit our cushy banking jobs and let's give this a shot, if not now then when, kind of a moment. And you all discussed among yourself that this should be the vision, this is what we should be looking at. And then that team grew from 4 to now, what's the number? How many people?
21.
How many? 21.
21, yeah.
21 people. So how did you ensure that the vision does not get diluted, that people, when they are hired, are clear about what are they working towards, what is that purpose, what is that vision which is leading beyond IRR?
Sure. So it's very important to hire the right set of people who are joining you in the initial days of your, organization's life. Extremely clear that they understand the vision or which path the organization is taking towards, and are they in alignment of that particular thought process. It's not about joining a large MNC where you're joining just to play a particular role. When people join a small company, which is as small as ours, which is like 15, 20 people, there every single person plays an extremely important role to decide the direction of the organization which it will go. It is not a single person's thing or job. Every single person in the company contributes towards that particular direction where the vision is. The only important thing that as seniors we need to take care of is to ensure that we communicate and align people to that particular vision, and hire or accept only those people in the organization who are aligning to that vision. Otherwise, you are creating friction which will deviate you and distract you from going towards that vision as easy as you would have gone if the people within the company are more aligned.
Yes, yes, very well said. So we have so many people out there who could be potential hires, but when we are getting people on board, they need to be the right fit. And for the right fit, they need to be able to resonate with the vision that drives the company, right? That is what makes them the right fit. So, Parag, when I talk about vision with mature organizations, mostly with mature organizations, I get this feeling that people consider this to be a mumbo jumbo, that, yeah, okay, vision, mission, values and all that jazz is something that we will do when we go for some retreat and offsite, and we, can sit there and have these discussions, got nothing to do with business. Right? So, and since you've kind of put this in place right at the start, what do you see as the power that it brings along. When you are clear about this vision, when you're just a team of 20, and before you scale it to a level where you are probably not sharing this vision directly with people, but you have sown the right seeds, you have developed the right foundation, right? How is this serving you as against many other organizations who are making profits? Let me tell you that it's not as if you can't create a profitable business if you don't have a clear vision. But if you do, what does that change?
So I've worked in 5 large organizations, right? And before starting BeyondIRR, and each one of them today, as well as during that time, are extremely well-respected organizations. And each such organization has these 3 things which you just talked about, which is mission, vision, goals, values. All of them have it because it is considered as extremely important for any organization to have those things in place so that they can get into the right direction. The challenge with larger organization comes is as soon as these offsites or these retreat kind of things get over, they get into their normal daily grind and people get into their daily jobs, a lot of politics, and then they forget all of it, right? So unfortunately, because of those things, it is extremely difficult job in a large organization to carry your vision to the last man standing on the in front of the client. While everyone has that, but the job is that much more difficult for the senior management or the HR of that particular organization. The job is not that difficult in case of a small company. It's extremely simple job. As a leadership team, you speak to your team quite often because it's a small team. You're able to carry those discussions very clearly because you're speaking one-on-one basis. So I would say we are in a stage right now where it is simpler as compared to a larger MNC type of a company where it is extremely, extremely difficult. We will see how we are able to manage those things when we reach that stage. Right now, we are the lucky ones.
Awesome. So let me add a little learning to the luck, okay, and tell you how it can remain as simple even if you scale up and even if you and when you grow. What we make as a mistake, very common mistake across the board, I'm saying, Parag, and I notice this very closely with the corporates that we serve. This whole vision mission becomes limited to some English exercise, right? You land up writing words which don't connect with your heart. You don't feel anything about it. There is no feeling attached to the statement. And so it's like some English which looks good on the wall as a poster, right? And you can bring that up in your annual reports and you can bring that up in your stakeholder reviews. And I think that's the role that it plays. And that's where it loses its power. The power with which you started what you started. So in my view, Parag, if you start an organization with this clarity of vision, it just sets the right foundation for you to grow into an enterprise. But even those who are already in the in that growth stage, who are not in the early stage of their business, mature organizations, I believe, and I would love your views on this, I believe that it's not only never too late, but it is also imperative for them to get started as soon as possible, to bring this understanding of vision in a language that can create inspiration and excite people to work towards it, like something exciting, right? Something relatable, and not just some fostering talent and attracting leadership qualities and building the technical know-how to serve the world and all of that, the Miss India. So when I was going for this beauty pageant for Mrs. India, the joke was that what will be your answer for world peace, because that's a very standard question that comes your way for these beauty pageants. And I was so glad that no one was asked that question on world peace. The questions that we were asked in our final round were very real questions that you and I might face in life and we might not know what to do. So great way to test someone's presence of mind and see their thought process. And I think that's how real people are today. People who work for your organization, my organization, people who want to do something more meaningful than just getting salary at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But that meaning is missing if that meaning is not the same for all 20 or 200 or 2000 in the organization. So what do you think about that in terms of some of the organization that you've probably seen who've grown up to a certain size and yet have this central theme, this core purpose and this vision with which they work?
So the most important thing about vision is to understand the why and making people understand the why of what they're doing. So as I said, right, in a startup, because we are working extremely closely with each single member of the family, which is our organization, we are able to tell them and explain to them that what they are doing, they also know why they are doing and the impact that it will create for the organization and for the end person, right? So they also understand why of it and the reason of it, right? So that's about having the power of vision. Just one point which came across my mind. Someone told me when we were thinking about our vision that, uh, from a God's gift perspective, human beings' biggest gift is the eyes, the sight that we have, right? The through eyes. For a business, the biggest gift is similar, which is related to eyes and sight. It is called vision, right? Sight,
Well,
sight through eyes, but vision is not through eyes. Vision is through mind and heart, which makes it much, much more powerful than coming only through eyes,
beautiful. So
right?
well said. So well said.
That's the power of vision, that if you are putting your heart and mind in creating a sentence which will drive the direction of your business, if everyone is able to imbibe it instead of just becoming, as you said, English letter, it will make a huge difference. Because if 10,000 employees of a large organization know what they are doing, why they are doing, the performance, the inspiration which comes out of this vision will ultimately make it 10x in terms of the results.
Absolutely. Couldn't have agreed more, Parag. And so beautifully put. Thank you for sharing that. I think just simplifies the whole idea of talking about vision, bringing it more clarity, and taking this up as an exercise as if your life depends on it, because it does. Because if you don't see where you're going, then you go nowhere. It's as simple as that. Right. And I think one way to do that as you scale up, as you grow, is to ensure that there is some kind of a process in place, which is not dependent upon just the founders to run. So for example, you with your core team of say 10 or 20 has been able to embed this very clearly. And each one of those 20 will lead a team of 10. And they should start every meeting with that vision discussion. They should start every appraisal discussion with that. Like how in Mumbai, when you go for a movie, you have to stand for national anthem, right? So every single time you're going through it, like it brings in that sense of patriotism. It brings in that belongingness, that togetherness of being a part of the country, right? So it's not something that is restricted only for Republic Day and Independence Day. So for an organization, vision is that anthem, that everybody cannot have their own version of it, right? That
Absolutely.
you've interpreted it A and I hear A plus, and somebody goes and communicates A minus to the team, and we are all over the place, right?
So I have few things to say on this. While, vision is a very broad level statement, it is very difficult to uh, get this included in every discussion. But how this vision gets broken into missions. Those missions are quite often used during meetings, right? So your vision may be to ensure that investors in this country are serviced well or are advised well. But how are you breaking it into missions so that it becomes implementable sets of that vision? So those missions are quite often used, but in my case, my personal experience, people don't use vision statements so often during meetings, but mission, which is the vision for a shorter period of time, is used quite often, right?
Yeah.
And again, coming to this point, that it is extremely important to then take it to the next level, which is get vision into action, right? That's what we are coming to, that, in every single thing that you are doing, just do it keeping in mind that there is a vision there. So, one thing which we follow in our company as far as execution is concerned, we believe vision is one thing, but execution is another important piece because, okay, let me say this, which I follow very often, which is vision without action or vision without execution is a dream.
Indeed. Yeah.
Action without vision.
Hmm.
Vision without action is a dream.
Hmm.
Action without a vision, you're doing a time pass.
Very well said.
You're
Yeah.
doing something without a vision is a time pass. Having a vision without action is dream, right? The success comes when it is vision with action or execution.
Absolutely.
When the dream becomes reality.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, it is just an intention that,
Yeah.
this is what we want to work towards, but there is no action to support it. So, as much as you talked about breaking a vision down into mission, every time we set a mission, it becomes exciting to achieve that mission because of the vision. So, like you said, the vision is the why. And so, by the end of communicating the mission, you said, this is what our mission is because that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And so it comes in automatically.
But
And
then the vision thing hands over itself to mission that, okay, now you take over things.
yes, yes, absolutely. Because you know the direction. So you decide the method and the pace, but the path is known and the path is clear to you all.
Absolutely.
And everybody is equally excited and hence hopping onto that path and walking. And that's why not every organization is meant for every individual and not every individual prospers in every organization. It's just about that fitment. And that fitment is best done if the purpose is clear, if the vision is known.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful. I think now Anand and Indiran and Vaibhav, Shilpa and everybody, Ritesh, Prema, everybody knows why did I invite Parag for this discussion? Because I think this very practical insight can only be shared by those who are living the power of the leadership qualities that I want to bring out month after month. And Parag, just so you know, this is an exclusive session that I do once a month. To support the learning journey of a community that I nurture on WhatsApp called Mindful Masterminds. Okay, so these are people who are crazy hungry about learning and growing and getting themselves to the next level. They're very well accomplished, but they're committed to become and stay as a lifelong learner. So every month we have a leadership quality, a leadership skill that we master. This month is vision. And so one satsang session is dedicated to that topic, which is vision, and hence the discussion with you. So next month when we have a guest, we'll be covering a topic that they'll be learning separately through a masterclass that I conduct. And I really do want you to acknowledge them. And I want them to thank you, which I'm sure they are doing right now. Most of them are here already for your presence. Because, Parag, I have seen a lot of people talking about learning on LinkedIn and any other platform. But to my mind, learning cannot happen unless there is a conscious learning path that you can commit towards. It's not just chalte firte book utha liya to learning ho gaya, कुछ चैनल टीवी पे यूट्यूब पे वीडियो देख लिया तो लर्निंग हो गया. Learning needs to be done proactively. There is a design that needs to be put in place, and there is no learning that happens by default. It's
again that vision thing, right? What are you aiming towards? Then only you will create that path.
Yes, and that's your personal vision, right? What is your next level? What drives you? What's the purpose for which you wake up every morning outside of just earning some money and bringing food to the table, right? So
YouTube video on learning without having that goal in mind is just time pass.
Well said. Exactly. It is. And so is reading. As much as reading is a great thing to do, but if you don't know for what purpose are you picking up this book, and it could be just any other, then that's also a time pass, as you put it, and you put it beautifully. So thank you so much, Parag. I wish we had more time. I really, really enjoyed this discussion with you. And I do want to thank everyone who's joined us live today, Indiran, Anand, Ritesh, and everybody who's here live. Thank you so much for connecting with us and for following satsang sessions week after week. Parag, I hope you make time for it as well next Tuesday.
I will for sure. And I would like to thank all the participants for joining in, and thanks for having me in the call today.
Totally love the discussion, and you have no idea how much value you've added to it today, Parag. So thank you so much for speaking your heart out, and thank you for bringing your vision to life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. All the best, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Parag. And thank you, everyone, once again. I will see you next week with another insight in the space of leadership and spirituality. In the meantime, please put your takeaways, your learning from this session in the comments. I will really be looking at it very, very closely. Excited and curious to know what is it that you're taking away from this discussion with Parag. Thank you so much. I hope this helps you to bring in that vision for yourself individually and also for the organization you serve. Thank you. God bless you all.